sat down and we put the numbers down. And we're like, what did we do when we first started this business? And what did it take to be able to go platinum within 3 months? So Tyler's the brains behind all this. I'm the excitement. So I'm going to hand it over to Tyler because he's better with numbers.
Well, Teddy said something earlier, and he said, I mean, who in this room enjoys selling your friends? Bugging friends and family.
I love it.
You like it?
I like it too because all the people that I share VeMMA with got results and they feel better.
Okay,
and
so we got one, we got two. I know Annie does.
They owe me a bit. They owe me a lot. So
yeah.
So we got 3 people.
Yeah, great. It's great when they say yes and they have results, but it's no one likes to bug.
Okay, so if there was a way not to bug friends and family, but to still get them to say yes to what it is that we do, would you be interested?
Of
course. Yes.
Okay, so over the last, I don't know, since I would say in October, Mimi and I started doing our Wednesday webinars. And they started going really well. So every Wednesday we do a live webinar. It's a 20-minute overview of why VeMMA the company, why VeMMA the product, and why VeMMA the opportunity, and we share our story. And as we started to do them, people started to ask, you know, I've got somebody interested, but it's not Wednesday. So as we started to think, we were like, well, why not have a 24/7 version of it? So when you're out talking to people, you can send them a webinar and let that webinar do the selling for you rather than you do the selling. And one thing that we say is if your lips are moving, you should be pointing to a higher source, meaning a third-party tool. Because if you're doing all the selling, people go, I can't do what it is that you do because I don't want to do that. I mean, we had 3 people in the room say I don't like selling friends and family. So if you're out selling friends and family, people are looking at you going, I don't want to do that. So Mimi and I have come up with a way, and it's actually been working. We've got it down to 12 minutes. It's a 12-minute overview, and it's VeMMApresentation.com. And we've got some dialogue and some scripts that we want to share with you in terms of how to invite people to watch a 12-minute presentation and then follow up with them and see how they want to get started.
do you want me to show the presentation?
Do you guys want to see? A lot of
Has
people
everybody seen it?
Who've
seen it?
Has anyone watched our 12-minute presentation?
No.
Oh, then maybe we should. So what we found is if you say less to more, you're going to find more people who are interested in a great product and a great opportunity. So oftentimes what we do, and I did it too in the very beginning, is we go out and we puke over everyone, right? And then they're like, stay away, I don't want anything to do with any of you. So that happens. So what we found is if you use credibility, third-party credibility, and we are going to be that third-party credibility because we have had success with this business. So you plug them into it, and what we usually say to people, and we are teaching our teams to do the same, is the if I would you. So if I were to tell you, first off, you start out with, hey, I'm really excited about this new opportunity. I'm really excited, and I'd love to share it with you. Or I thought of you because I know you're an entrepreneur and you might be interested in making some extra money. And if they say yes, say great. If I were to send you a link to watch a 12-minute presentation, would you watch it? If they say yes, I would be interested and I will watch it, when? And this is the key part to it all. If you get a specific time for these people to watch this presentation and you make a specific time to follow up with them, you're going to have success. If you say, will you watch it and say yes, and say, great, I'll call you next week, you're not going to get anywhere with it. Because number one, they're not going to take you seriously. Number two, they're not going to say, when you make an appointment with them, they say, okay, I'm going to watch it tonight. Great. If I call you at 8 tonight, do you think you've watched it? Yes, great. I'll talk to you tonight at 8. That's it. That's the end of your conversation. And you walk away. Call them at 8. And the first question you ask is, what did you like about the presentation? So instead of saying, what did you think about it, which is what I did at the beginning, I found out they thought a lot. Not what I wanted them to think about, but they thought a lot. And they were correcting it and doing this with it. And I'm like, no, no, no. What did you like about the presentation? So when we said that, all of a sudden I got these different answers. And the answers were, I like the fact that your product has double-blind studies. I like the fact that if I go out and I find 2 people who want to build a business with me, I can make money. So by their response, you're going to know what direction you should go in. And it's simple. It's really simple, and we have teams that are just going gangbusters with this. So, with that, let's watch it. Thanks, Amy. Looking for people for the opportunity is that more people said, if all I have to do is send them this, I can do that. So we're getting people who were more wanting to get involved. And so through that, we found a lot of success with some of our teams. And the other thing is that once you call them and you ask them, what did you like about it? And if they say, we like the fact that the product is double-blind studied and it works well, then you say, would you like to give it a try? And if they say yes, your next question should be, how do you want to get started? A or B? That's it. So do you want to get started and make some money, and are you serious about doing the business? Then let's get you a builder pack. If you want to get started, then just get on the product, see if you like it, see if you believe in the product, if it works for you so you can go out and tell more people about it, then let's get you a one pack. If you're kind of not sure, you kind of want to start, but you don't know if you want to start with a builder pack, well, then let's get a momentum bonus qualified order, which is a one pack and some V2s. If they're way into the verb, then 2 cases of verb. So whatever, you kind of have to talk with your people and what their interest level is, but this is a tool that you can all use to try and get an understanding and relationship with the person that you're talking to know where they're at. Are you excited? Do you want to get a builder pack? And let them make that decision. So how do you want to get started is a great question to ask people after they watch this presentation. They say, yes, I want to give VeMMA a try. Great, how would you like to get started? And then just listen, wait for the answer, and they'll tell you, I'm ready for a builder pack. Okay, let's get it. And then what we'd like to show, and I don't know if we want to go through the numbers as far as if you have someone who's really interested in making some money, and in our presentation we stated it, the way we made $2,300 the first month that we were in this business is through Fast Start bonus. And the Fast Start bonus, if you get a builder pack and a gold builder pack, you'll make $200. If the person gets a bronze builder pack or a silver builder pack, you'll make $100, and if they get a bronze, you make $50. That's how you make your money. So the more people that you can sort through, share this presentation, and find builders, the more money you're going to make. So when we first went out, we didn't have a VeMMA presentation. We had our excitement. So your excitement is you're going to have to go out there and say, hey, I'm really excited about this opportunity. But I just got started and I didn't know a lot, but I have a presentation. You can watch it. It's 12 minutes long. Would you do that? Yeah. Okay, great. When can you watch it? Tonight. Super. I'll email you the link, VeMMApresentation.com, and I'll call you at 8. Sound like a good plan? Yes. You call them up. What did you like about it? I like the fact that I want to make some money, and it looks like you can make some serious money because I saw Tyler and Mimi's income, and they're making some serious money, and I want to do that. Great. Let's get you on the gold. Well, how do you want to get started? See, I already assumed because they want to get started and make money like we were, they'd get a gold because that's what we did, right? So, how do you want to get started? Well, I think I'm going for the gold. Let's go make some money. Well, if somebody says they're coming in and they want to make money and they're going for the gold, so they're coming in and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to go out and talk to as many people as they can using this presentation. They'll probably find 10 people who are interested in trying the product, and out of those 10 people, they're going to find 2 people. And this is what we have worked through our numbers, that most often you're going to find 2 people who are interested in the opportunity. So you have 10 people consuming. 2 of those 10 people are wanting a builder pack. And so you put 1 on your right leg, you put 1 on your left leg, the builders. As far as the consumers, you can sort those through. Like people, we usually put people who are alike on the same side. And then teach those 2 people to do the same. Use this presentation, go out, try and get 2 people who are interested in this opportunity, get a gold pack. If you do that, you can make $2,300 in your first month. And we have numbers to show. So, any questions? Tyler, do you have something to say? I'm like, this is it. Go out. You have to find builders. If you don't find builders, you're not going to make money. You're going to go out and share a great product, and people are going to be healthy. We love healthy people, but you're not going to make money. And that's the end of that's the bottom line, is you've got to find builders.
You don't want to discount consumers.
No.
'Cause at the end of the day, this is an auto delivery business. And one thing that we learned early on, and we were guilty of this, is we drove a lot of consumers right out of the business. And you want to recognize the difference between a builder and a consumer. And if they're a consumer, let them be a consumer. But the key to the consumers is to establish a ton of product belief up front. Because we have people from day one that said yes to VeMMA, have never ever made any income, but have been on the product since day one. So even though we're looking for builders, and the one thing that Mimi and I struggled with at the beginning is we were able to get a lot of people on the product and we made good money, but we lacked that duplication, and we scared some people off because we were a little too excited.
And I heard a lot of people say, I can't do that. I'm not like you. Well, you don't know what I was like when I first started. When I first started, I was scared to death to pick that phone up. But I was more scared of losing my home. So it forced me to pick that phone up because I did not want to lose my home. And through that, because my why was so huge, I was able to do it. But not everyone has a huge why. And so if you don't have a huge why, do you have a huge why, Tom?
There's
so much why.
I'm shaking my head.
He's got a huge why.
That's my son.
He just doesn't want to tell you.
Yeah, he does. He wants to ski like Annie all the time. He's learning. She's teaching him how to be a ski instructor. So, but yeah. So, anyone have any questions? I'm sorry, I lost track of thought there. Yes.
Well, but a consumer also with something like, because a lot of people are afraid to go out and share and sell. And so we've always believed in a third-party tool that allows to do the selling for you, and then you're more likely to put people into action, because if you're out doing all the selling, they're looking at you going, I can't do what Annie does, or I can't do what Mimi does. So they're automatically in their head saying, I don't want to do that. And so that's why, with the VeMMA presentation, it's just, if you get really good at just the invitation side of it and are able to sort through people, and you're going to get no's, and that's one of the things that we recommend as well. There's a really good book that I highly recommend. It's called Go for No. And it's all about getting excited about the no's. And a lot of people, let's say they have a goal of getting 2 yeses for the day, and they go talk to 2 people and they get 2 yeses, they're done. But what happens if you went and talked to 10 people and got 10 no's? You may have gotten 5 yeses. So it's the exact opposite, where you celebrate the no's and you make it a goal to go get no's. And when Mimi and I started kind of embracing this, along with changing a few things within our system, is when we started to really move our business forward. So.
And you had a question?
Yes, is VeMMApresentation.com in Spanish?
No, but we're working on that. I have a friend who speaks Spanish, and she said she was going to subtitle, of course, or do the speaking for us in Spanish.
And you mentioned that VeMMA is in 57 countries, so do you have different labeling in different languages, or is it strictly in English and maybe French?
No, there's way too many languages on that website, man.
If you go to the very bottom of your website and you say choose country, and so if somebody enrolls in that country, their entire website is in the language of their country.
But is the actual merchandise or actual product, the
Yes.
labeling,
Yeah.
also in different languages
Yeah.
too? Good.
I don't know about on the box. I've never seen one in Hebrew, but I've never been to Israel either. So,
It's kosher, so it's not in Israel.
okay, it isn't?
Yeah.
He drinks it.
Anyone have any other questions?
We put together a cycling vacation. But if you go through here, step 1 is invite. And phone or person. Inviting via email is the easy way out, because you can't schedule the follow-up. And so anybody can send an email that says, hey, go watch this. But the key in the success of this is setting the follow-up presentation. So 2 ways to invite, phone or in person. Question?
Okay.
Okay.
In my business, I have a colon hydrotherapy business. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it's cleaning out the large intestine with colon hydrotherapy, water going inside of you and cleaning you out. So, and my business is primarily men for some reason, I don't know why. So as soon as I'm finished working with these people, they come out of my colon hydrotherapy office and they come into my consultation room, which I made, because I'm going to paint the wall orange, and it's not ready yet, you know, so I really want to make it very VeMMA-ish, you know. So what I do is I have a box of V2s, and I have the 2 bottles on my desk, because it's not complete in my office, but I do have those 2 bottles there. And what I do is I give them a bottle of V2, the men who are, the one man that's there, and I tell them to drink it right then and there, because if they go home, I don't know when they're going to drink it, and I'm tired of, you know. So I have them drink it, and they say, oh yeah, it's good, you know. And I don't know what to do after that.
Would you like to give it a try?
Would you like to give it a try?
I would do one of two things. Either would you like to give it a try, or if I sent you a 12-minute presentation,
I like that,
would you
you
watch
just
it?
showed us that.
Exactly. And then you have their information. They said
Because I have
yes.
so many clients coming in through my doors for auto massage or colon hydrotherapy. I can have this really great business, but I didn't know what to do.
Well, the key is, this is the key, and this is something that we struggled with. It is on step 5, you have to, a lot of people are afraid to do this, and they talk themselves out of the sale.
Yeah.
Well, you'll say way too much, and somebody's ready to go, and you continue to keep talking about how good the product is.
No, I look at body language, like they look like they need to get out of the world.
So, 5, would you like to give it a try? And you just have to go quiet. And sometimes, it can be 2 or 3 seconds, and it seems like a minute. It can be very uncomfortable.
Let them think.
Because people at the end of the day don't like to say no. And so if you say, would you like to give it a try, and you just sit there, and they're thinking you're going to talk next, and they have to either say yes or no.
I don't tell them the price or anything like that?
No.
I think that's what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, well, this bottle is $30.
It's too much
You would get
information.
I know. I
Well,
think
if
that's
they-
what I'm doing. I'm
It's
giving
too
them
much
too much
information.
information.
And so you can use this just with anybody, but in general, and Mimi and I've gotten really good at this because we've done thousands upon thousands of booths. We've talked to 1,000, we've talked to so many people. And we've got, when you do a booth, a lot of people go do a booth and they think that a website's going to do the selling. And so Mimi and I spent a lot of time and money doing these booths, and we weren't getting people. And so finally I said, we got to ask for the sale. And I just said, try this one line. Would you like to give it a try? And sure enough, we started enrolling people. So it's just a simple, would you like to give it a try? And if you talk next, you lose every time. Every time.
And you have, what's your name again?
Michelle.
Michelle, you have a great opportunity to share with people to say that this, we just flushed you out. Now to continue the process of detoxing your body, this is a great product.
You'll poop great for days.
You've got a great lead in line.
And what I want to do also is sell them some Verb. I'm not giving that away. There's no way.
If they don't understand the flagship product, they're not going to understand the Verb.
That's true.
So you've got to start with the flagship. That's what we always believe in. If they want a different delivery system, great. But if they don't understand VeMMA, they're not going to get Verb, and they're not going to get Thirst, and they're not going to get any of the other products. So
the goal is to, at the end of the day, we're looking for builders, but the goal is to make a friend and create an auto delivery. And if you can do that, you'll do well in the business. And it's sorting through those auto deliveries to find the people that want to build a business.
So when you sign up somebody that's just a consumer, you call them?
Yeah.
That doesn't do you any good financially?
It does you a lot of good. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause you get,
That's all I got.
As a consumer, you get credit for that volume, no different if they're a builder.
Okay.
But a builder is somebody that's out there helping you.
It's going to get bigger and bigger.
They're duplicating your business.
Right.
But consumers are, at the end of the day, it's what our business is built around. And so every time that monthly auto delivery goes out, you get credit for that volume, which allows you to create a commission. And so one of the things that Mimi and I do, in order to create, we want people believing in that product and how powerful VeMMA is. So if they're just consumers, we'll hand them a Dr. Edwards CD, which is a great CD all about the product and why it's so powerful. And if you can get somebody to listen to the Dr. Edwards CD, you have a high likelihood that they're going to continue on the product just because it creates so much product belief. So that's one of the tools that we use. We use something else. We use a couple different things. But one thing that
testimonials.
testimonials.
Website, magazine.com is another one. If people hear stories, these stories sell. So, like you heard tonight, there are so many different stories of what VeMMA has done for people. Richard, your story is just incredible. And so when I first started sharing VeMMA with others, I shared my Justin story. And I would tell that story to everyone. 9 out of 10 people said yes to VeMMA.
No,
You got a story. I mean, your story right there. Let's keep the detoxing out.
And that's
If you
kind
have
of
a story, use it. But if you don't have a story, use other stories, or create some
Well, that's another,
urgency.
we do a training, and part of what we do is also we create a 30-second, we call it a 30-second commercial. And so, if somebody says, what do? You have a 30-second commercial.
Your elevator speech.
Yeah, the elevator speech. And then what you do is say, enough about me, how about you? And if your elevator speech is good enough, they'll say, well, wait a minute, tell me more. If they're not interested or your elevator speech still needs work, you're just going to be all about them, which is good.
What's your elevator speech?
What's the elevator speech?
Got one?
We've got a lot of them.
What's your favorite?
My favorite one is
What if you're talking to an athlete?
an athlete.
Now, what do you do, Tyler?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
I talk about the money.
No, like your elevator. When you're out
My
talking
elevator
to
speech.
people, and they're like, what do you do?
You went in an elevator.
I have two. It just depends on the person. But one of mine is, we made $2,300 our first month of working the business, and it was enough money to pay our mortgage. I mean, I got to get my head in the right place.
Cut them off.
Well, how did you start? They say, what do you do?
Well-
You involved in a VeMMA nutrition company.
It seems like you
Where did
play
you start?
a lot.
What's that?
You play a lot.
Oh, we play a lot. But yeah, if somebody says, what do you do? Mimi and I typically say, we're VeMMA brand partners, and VeMMA is the most complete liquid nutritional supplement on the market. 1 2-ounce serving has the nutritional value of 4 grocery bags of fruits and vegetables. And depending if it's an athlete, I usually tell when I started taking VeMMA, I did nothing different other than take VeMMA, and I was totally run down, and my training was I wasn't feeling good. And I won 3 back-to-back races, and the only thing I did different was take VeMMA. And so it just depends on the person. We've got a lot of them. One of the lines that I like to use is, do you keep your options open in terms of creating a second stream of income outside of what you're currently doing? And 9 times out of 10, people are going to say, well, yeah, tell me more. And then at that point, you say, if I would you. If I sent you a 12-minute presentation, would you watch it? Great. When can I follow up? So it just depends on the person. But Mimi and I do a training, and we kind of go through all this.
So Wednesday
And
night.
actually, this training, what we're talking about, is on. If you go to tylermimiford.com, and if you go in the resource section, we did a 30-minute training that goes over everything that we're talking about.
Now, say you just are talking to someone who right away has no interest at all in the business. We come across those every day. Do you still send them to the presentation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can. Not always, if they have no interest in the business whatsoever. If you let them watch this presentation, they may all of a sudden become interested.
Right.
But if you want to just share with them a great product, then I do the same. If I were to send you my website, would you watch it? Would you look at it?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will give you the great overview of supplemental facts and everything you need to know about or about VeMMA or Verve or whatever it is, and then send them that link. But same thing. If I were to send you my website, would you look at it? Yes. When do you think you'll have a chance?
Yeah. If we're just a consumer
Get
type
zero
of person,
down and follow up. Same thing. Follow up.
Yeah.
for
Set
just a
up a time
consumer,
specifically when you're going to call them to see what they like about your website. Got it? Because if you just send them your website and open-end it, you're
People
done.
open to you, calling them at 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
if you schedule it.
Yeah.
But just back to your
It's actually a
question,
good time.
with the consumer person that just they're not interested in the product or in the opportunity, I always throw in the 100% money back guarantee.
Right.
Hey, what's the worst thing that can happen? Is you try this, and if you don't like it, the company's going to give you your money back. So really, at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? Would you like to give it a try? And just, again, go quiet. And you might have to say, would you like to give it a try 3 or 4 times? And continually, would you like to give it a try? At these booths, I mean, seriously, we'll say, would you like to give it a try 3 and 4 times until they're finally either gone and they told us no, or they're filling out an order form. And that's how we've gotten really good at a lot of this.
Bulletproof. I mean, after you do it over and over and over and over again, you become bulletproof. So practice. Just keep going out there. Just keep talking to people. And if you're afraid and you don't know what to say and you don't know much about VeMMA or the opportunity, use our presentation.
Well, don't you think that we are our worst enemy? We tend to pass judgment on the person you're talking to, or try to make a decision.
Well, and that's why what we say is, how would you like to get started? Because why put your values on somebody? And that's what we do way too often, is in our head, we're going, well, maybe they can't afford it, so I'm going to start them with the $60 pack. And so if you say, well, how would you like to get started? You're not putting your values on them. You're letting them tell you how it is that they want to get started. So I mean, I totally agree with you. And it's hard to do, but we tend to put our values on other people.
And the same thing, people's need or situation change. So if you might get a consumer that after they try the product and they see the result, might become.
And if you go to, this is a great line right here. We put the email, and then we put some scripts. Is that on here? Okay, so on the last page, so number 2, this right here, I mean, if you're working the business and you're creating momentum within your organization, meaning you're signing people up, and that's the beauty of the binary. You can create momentum.
Yeah.
And you can go back to people and say,
can you
listen,
give me a minute?
you know, I know you were
Yeah, when are you going to be there?
But over
When
the
are you gonna be
last
there?
4 to 5 months, you now have 50 people below you, and you're sitting on an income-producing asset. If I sent you a 12-minute presentation, would you watch it? And so now you're taking a consumer, and they're going to tell you, I'm not interested in the opportunity. So you just, at that point, you leave them alone, you thank them for their monthly audit delivery. But they might say, yeah, I'll take a peek at it. And so you send them the link, and then now they're interested in the opportunity. So, but that's the key to the binary. You have to create momentum. And that's where people struggle, is creating that momentum to be able to go back and use that line.
But it's nothing wrong. I mean, one of the things you're doing right now is saying to us, let me help you build a business. So a person that is a consumer and has that many people below us, if you say, let me help you build a business, and you take them by the hand, if they have a little bit of a spark or something, it might be worthwhile your time.
And you'll know if people are interested in it. I mean, a lot of people will say I want it. They will say they want to make a lot of money, but they will not walk the talk.
We
right?
always say,
That's the biggest
look
thing.
at this.
And so if they're not walking the talk, right, go to the next person. They're not interested. They don't have a big enough why. They don't want it bad enough. You want it. Believe me, when I first started, I was building everyone's business, and it drove me nuts, and I was burned out, totally burned out. I built my mom's business. Everyone got their product for free, but I was totally fried. You got to find people who want this, and then work with them. Lock arms and move forward. But if they're not showing you that they want it, they're telling you they want it, but they're not showing you they want it, then move on to another person. Find another person.
VeMMA and I's attitude is always try to create enough pain, meaning they have a ton of volume to push somebody off. And so if they don't want it.
Accountability calls. I have weekly calls with certain people who are really interested in moving the business forward. How many people did you talk to this week? How many people said yes? How many people watched the presentation? And how many people did you enroll? How many builders did you find out of that? It's a numbers game. You talk to 10, you'll probably find 1 or 2. You talk to 1, you'll find probably 0 builders. And it's okay, but you're not going to make money. So you have to look at the numbers, and you have to look at this as a business. And a business is, when we first started, I was doing dental hygiene, 8 to 5. Tyler was still working the mortgage business until they shut the door. I come home at night, eat dinner, and for the next 2 hours I was on my phone. So that's how I know people do answer the phone at 8 o'clock. Because that's where I was, on the phone. And I did not have a presentation. All I had was my product belief and my excitement and conviction to make some money. And that's it. That's all it takes is your why. So if you don't know why you're doing this, go home, figure it out, write it down. Your next step is write down the names of people that you know that are looking for an opportunity, looking for a way to make extra money. Hey, I thought of you because I know you're having a tough time right now, and you could use some extra money. If I were to send you a 12-minute presentation, would you watch it? It's an opportunity that I've come across, and I'm really excited about it, and I want to share it with you. Yeah, well, sure, I'll watch it. When do you think you will? This weekend. All right, great. If I call you at 2 on Sunday afternoon, do you think you'd watch it by then? Yep, great. Talk to you at 2. Bye. That's it. Done. So if you get good at that, if you get, I mean, just think how many people you can invite to this presentation and how many people you can sort through in a week. You should be able to do at least 10. At least 10 in a week. And if you find one who says, you know what, I can do that. You know what, I'm going to make some money like Tyler and Mimi are. I can do that. So you just have to believe and you have to go out there and do it. Take action. So if they say yes, put them into action. First step is, what's your why? Why would you want to do it? Next step is, make a list of at least 10 people. And if they need your help, let's get on the phone right now. I'll sit here right with you and support you. Get on the phone right now. Who do you know? Who do you know that you think would say yes to an opportunity or say yes to a great product? Who do you know? Let's do it. Let's do it together. And that's what we've been doing. And it's been working. So we wish you all well. Wish you luck. You have any questions?
I have two.
Okay.
One is product related. You give somebody VeMMA, and other than having a cleaning fest one night going, wow, I'm full of energy.
I know.
You know, most people may not have that thing, and one may not be enough.
Right.
How do you come back from that? They go, yeah, did you feel anything? I don't know.
What did you think? You don't have to feel anything. You don't have to be anything spectacular. And really the main reason why you're giving a sample out is for them to taste it. Because the number one question is, what does it taste like? I don't want to buy a big bottle if it tastes like yuck, right? Yeah. So that's the reason. So really good example, Michelle, is shake it up, try it right there. Then they down it. What do you think? Yeah, it tastes pretty good. Great. Would you like to try it? Yeah. So that's your next question.
Okay. And then the second question is related to binary structure, business-wise. Minimums per leg. Like you start build one leg starts to grow, the other one doesn't quite take off, so you decided you're going to build that one. How does that exactly play into the finances? Because if I'm going to do a business, I'm going to make money at it. So.
Good question.
Well, yeah, that's a great question. And the comp plan can be, it's easy once you understand it, but it can be very confusing up front.
Sure.
And it drove me nuts at the beginning too, because I would call up Ruth and go, can you explain the comp plan? And she said, I'm not explaining it to you. Go share the product, you'll make money, and you'll figure it out. I'm like, that answer doesn't work for me.
Right.
So anyway, I drove up to Phoenix. I was sitting in my office, and the phone, I just used to being really, really busy, and pipeline totally dried up. So I drove up to Phoenix. I didn't tell Mimi. And I drove up to the corporate office and said, I'm the new VeMMA brand partner, and I'm not leaving here until I understand the comp plan. And they explained it to me, and I still didn't get it. But anyway, to answer your question, it's more, to me, it's visual. You've got to see it. So I would have like Annie log you into her back office and Mimi and I do this all the time. We do go to meeting webinars where visually, if you see it, it makes more sense. But keeping it really simple, if you have, it's binary. And so for every 180 and for every 180 and 360, that's considered a cycle.
Okay.
And so let's say you had a huge leg that had volume accumulated. So for every $180 of volume on the weaker side, which we call your profit leg, because it's called profit leg because if you build it, profit comes. So keeping the math simple, it's 180 and 360. So for every 180 and 360, it's considered a cycle. Every time you cycle, you get a commission. And then if you've got volume accumulated on one leg where you have more volume accumulated, I'm already losing some people.
I totally get it. So it says, I'm hearing it, just so I make sure, when you cycle, you pull that 380 and...
Yeah, that volume's gone.
Gone, but it's still all the residual volume's still there. It banks. So volume on your strong leg banks, and when it pulls from that, it subtracts from that, and at the end of the 4-week period, you're left with any volume that you didn't use on your, what we call your power leg. Yeah.
And so let's say you're perfectly balanced, 180 and 360. Come Friday morning, it's going to be 0 because it used the volume in order to create a cycle.
Gotcha, and then it just banks the power leg.
Exactly.
The only way it goes away is if you go for over 5 weeks without your auto delivery.
As long as you're on a
it doesn't go
accumulate.
Say that one more time.
Okay, so you need to do 3 things
in
order to bank your volume after your first 5 weeks. You need to be on a 120 auto delivery. You need to personally enroll 2 people, one on your left and one on your right. It's a member, not a customer, on at least a $60 per month auto delivery. And that's usually our first step. But you do those 3 things and your volume will never flush.
Okay, so that second one, if you get sick, hurt, you just decide to go on a trip for 6 months, that can be an issue?
Yeah, it can be an issue. If they come off auto delivery, and if you're you're personally enrolled, you're going to get an email that says this person's no longer on auto delivery. So you know that person. So you've got to replace them, and you've got to do it within the calendar period. If not, that volume flushes. So, but in order to be fully qualified for all commissions, you need to be on a 120, and you need to personally enroll 6 people that are on at least a 60, because we have matching bonuses. So if you do that, chances are if one comes off, you're not going to be in jeopardy, but you have time to replace that person in order to be qualified for all commissions.
You'll quickly not have to worry.
We thought of why we thought of them. So when we went to talk to them, they were either a person we thought of for the product, which I was really good at because that's what I cared more about is people in health. And we thought of people for the opportunity, and we go to them, and I even said silly stuff like, hey, I'm going to make a lot of money, do you want to come along? I mean, I was that blunt with people. I found a great opportunity, I'm going to make some money, do you want to learn how to? And they said, yeah, what do I do? Get a bill to file. Okay, that was it. That was it. I mean, didn't give much information except for I love this product, it's great, you want to make money, yes, get a gold. And that was it. Done. Boom, boom, boom. We're very specific and direct to what we wanted, and we went and got it. If you kind of fudge around going, I don't know, they may not want to spend that kind of money, how do you know? How do you know that they're not serious about doing a business? You don't know that. So this is a great sorting tool. How do you want to get started? So it helps. Or you can be direct like I was. I'd bang everybody over the head. Come on, let's do it!
Mimi would whip out the Louisville Slugger.
I did it all the time.
We'd go to some parties and people were like running the other way.
I had the same problem.
I know, Andy and I were kind of like.
One thing that, what I say, when people say no to you, they're questioning your commitment to what it is that you're doing. And so we had a lot of people that said no to us day one. And they're going, well, I don't know if you're in this for the long haul. And they're questioning if you're going to continue doing what you're doing. So a year down the road, hey, you still doing that VeMMA thing? Yeah, I'm making, whatever. Are you serious? And so now they're no longer questioning your commitment to what it is that you're doing. So part of being successful in network marketing is being committed for the long haul in terms of what it is that you're doing. Because now, 4 years later, every day we run into somebody that had the opportunity day one that told us no, that we're now getting on the product because, we're committed to what it is that we're doing. So, it's just, you gotta, if you say you're doing VeMMA and then a month down the road you bump into them and you're not doing it anymore, the likelihood if you do another thing, they just don't take you serious.
A couple of times I thought I heard somebody say, like, you get together with 2 of your friends, or there's 3 of you doing this together. Was there? Did I?
Yeah, it's fun.
I
got all my friends together.
But I thought you don't have to get together to start it with 2 other people.
No, you don't need to. You need, in order to be qualified to receive income, you need to personally enroll 2 people.
Oh, maybe that's for the number 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you and then you need to find 2 people that, because it's what we call a binary. It's you and then you've got a left and right leg. And once those 2 left and right leg positions are filled, the next person that you enroll has to be placed beneath them. So once you fill those 2 spots, and one of those spots could be filled by somebody above you. So it doesn't have to be you filling those 2 positions, but you need to find 2 people, one on your left and one on the right, in order to be qualified to get that commission check.
And those 2, they can drop out. What if they drop out? You replace them?
Oh yeah, well, that's what he was saying, and that's what I was asking about helping you, because if we may have I might invite him. He's not interested, but I need to qualify somebody. So if he tell me, oh, my cousin or my brother may like this, well, now I enroll that person. He might not want to use it. He might be a product user.
Right.
But if I put it under my name, I'm okay again.
Right.
So that's why you have to keep on enrolling people.
But your question is a visual question, and if Annie were to show you her back office and show you what it looked like, you would actually, it would make it so much easier to understand.
And you mentioned the back office. It's so cool that they do all the accounting and all the visualization, and we don't have any of that paperwork. And it's a beautiful thing. So when you go on auto delivery, you do get a website that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this back office where all the accounting and all the paperwork is taken care of by somebody else.
But you got to keep it simple. People overcomplicate things, and just we say keep it simple and say less to more. You do that.
I was just going to say that going along with what Tyler says, because I've been involved doing this for about a year now, and I had a flurry of for about 4 months where I enrolled like quite a few people. And what was interesting was, like, if Fanny and I were skiing, bike riding or something, people would say, "What do you guys do?" And I'd say, "Well, we're brand partners with a Christian company," and not say another word. And all of a sudden, I'd almost walk away, and everybody would be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Like, what is this thing?" So now, as an example, I've got a van, and it's one of these big 4-wheel drive sportsmobile things that draws a lot of attention. And I went and we decaled it, and it's almost been counterproductive. In that people are like, they're expecting you to sell them something, and people find, I think, we're a little less approachable now, and I'm thinking about pulling the decals off.
Really?
The cat's out of the bag.
They want it free. Yeah.
So,
they think
I'm trying to sell you something, and I'm
Part
really
of it's
thinking about pulling it off.
creating curiosity, giving them just enough to want more. And like you just said, walking away and going, "Wait a minute, give me more."
Yeah, and I started opening my mouth too much, and I've gotten a little discouraged over the last couple of months or last 6 weeks, and things have slowed down. So what I'm looking forward to now is doing the same thing and keeping my mouth shut and going, "Hey, take a look at VeMMApresentation.com, boom, and calling it a day right there." Yep.
So that's what you do after you say, "I'm a VeMMA
I say
brand partner."
that.
Because I have people I work in a hospital every day ask me, "Well, even outside the hospital, what do you do?" "I'm a nurse," and la 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 la. So I tell them both, but then I just stop and I'm like,
See, I don't do that. I mean, you guys know what I do for a living. I do real estate appraisal. I'm a licensed appraiser. I'm doing that for 26 years. But I don't tell people that anymore. I have not done that.
So I'm not
people
gonna
ask
say
me
that
what I
anymore.
do, and I
I'm not
go,
gonna
"I'm a
say
brand partner
nurse."
with a company." Cool.
Well, yeah, because the other problem is, well, if you're a brand partner, why you have to be a nurse?
Well, they don't know anything. Thing is, they don't even know. Most people know nothing about the product. They don't even know the product exists on the market. They don't even know that something good exists on the market. The majority of
and you
people.
say just something that little, all of a sudden people will start to ask you a question. And
Okay, they'll ask you a
just
question,
like
and
Tyler
then you
maybe
say, "Would you like
said.
to taste it?"
No, I don't even do that. And they go, "What is it?" And I go, "Well, it's VeMMA. It's called VeMMA. It's like, it's a liquid nutrition thing. Da 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 da." And then I don't say anything else. And if I went on, it was too long-winded. You could see them losing interest, and then all of a sudden I walk, I wouldn't say anything else. And then a couple of minutes later, seconds even, they'd investigate more and more. And it's like I said, like Fanny and I were down.
That's when you turn them to the presentation.
I didn't do that. I'm talking about just like Fanny and I were down in Moab or something like that. And people walk up to you and they go, "What do you guys do?" "Oh, we're brand partners with a Christian company." Boom, cut it. I don't say a word. And then you talk about something else, and all of a sudden they start asking again. And I kind of feed them a sentence, and I don't say anything else. Then they start, and the experience was that most of the people we enrolled, the least amount of things that I said, the easier it was. And that's like I'm saying with my van, I'm going to get rid of that decal because people used to walk up to me before and approach me and
Put a
say,
small one so they can come close and ask.
Now they're expecting, like if you walk up, they're expecting you're going to try to sell them something, and the kids will walk up and they'll go, "Hey, you got any free stuff in there?" Kind of thing. But other than that, but most people will not. I mean, I found I've been a lot less approachable since I've had those decals on there.
So when you say nothing, they finally say to you, "Well, how do I get a hold of it?" Is that what they finally say?
No, then all of a sudden, if they get that far, "Hey, well, if you want a sample, I've got a sample of this stuff over here," and then I kind of do the taste thing, like Mimi said. And I can name situations and tell you people and how it happened. And once I give them, they taste it, then I do. Then all of a sudden I'll push a little bit. I don't get like this stuff is great, and I'm going to do a 20-minute dissertation. But I say, okay, this stuff is really, really healthy. Here's the experience I had with it. Works really well for me. Da 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 da. But 30 seconds, as quick as I can close it down. I try to close it down, and then if I ask for them, they say, "Maybe you'll try this. I'll try it for 30 days. Money back guarantee." Boom. And most of the time, then I got them enrolled.
So where would you fit the website into that? Mimi, will you critique that?
Sure, yeah, and Tony hasn't used the website yet, so that's why he's explaining to you what he has said. So when you create interest, and creating interest is with your 30-second commercial, or with, what do? Well, I help save people's lives. Wow, how do you do that? Well, I'm a brand partner with a nutritional company, and we have the best product on the company, and it helps people increase their health, and it has saved people's lives. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, just entice them. Say something that, I mean, you're a nurse, you save people's lives all the time, right?
That's what people will say. Hey, you're saving lives today again.
Yeah. So that's why I thought of that line. I don't say that because I don't, but I'm not a nurse. But you could use that line of, I save people's lives
by being a nurse and selling an amazing liquid.
And we try and avoid certain words like selling, because nobody wants to sell, right? Right? Does anybody want to sell anything in here? No, I don't want to sell anything. Nobody wants to sell. First objection I get is, I'm not a salesperson and I don't want to sell anything. So you share. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I share a great product with people and it's changing people's lives. Wow. Really? I want to know more about that. Do you see what I'm saying? So change your vocabulary. And what I would recommend is if you don't have a 30-second commercial, you get one. Write it down, practice it, call Annie up. Karen Fraser did this with me. She calls me up one day and she goes, Mimi, I'm a VeMMA partner, and she comes up with a 30-second commercial, whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was now. I'm like, really, Karen? That's awesome. So she role-played with me. So if you have people, you have a group, you have a core, figure out your 30-second commercial and role-play. Yes, Tyler?
If Tony's doing something and it's working, how I would use Tony is, and Mimi and I were really good about getting people on the product without that presentation. And if you're doing something that's working, don't change it. But what I would do with Tony is once they said yes, I would use that presentation then to try to put them into action to become a builder. So in terms of what Tony's doing, I wouldn't really change anything that he's doing because you're just adding a step to it. And so why add a step when it's working? I mean, Tony's doing a great job enrolling people, so I wouldn't change a thing. But I would use the video after they said yes and said, hey, if I sent you a 12-minute presentation to learn more about the product, opportunity, and company, would you watch it? And
you know what I'm going to, not to interrupt Tyler, but you know what I'm going to do is if all of a sudden I get in a situation where somebody doesn't say or I don't get them enrolled, I'm going to go, hey, here, I don't want to get into this too long, but if you have 12 minutes, here, let me just send you this website first. Let me get your phone number. Boom. I'm going to start putting it on my.
Well, I agree. I mean, if they don't say yes to trying it right there, because I always try to close a sale right there. If I don't need that video, I'm not using it. Yeah. And Mimi and I all the time, you want to give it a try? Great. We get them all enrolled, get them in the system, and then we start to drip on them. So if you can avoid the video in terms of the first step, and you're good at doing that, don't use it. I wouldn't say add the step. And we just created it because a lot of people are uncomfortable. For those that aren't good at it and don't like to share or sell or do whatever, you don't use it. But if you're good at getting people on, there's no need for it.
And we created it for that second step too. So they're on the product, they like it, they're kind of interested in maybe sharing it with other people. Would you watch this? Are you interested? Watch this. And I'll call you whenever your appointment's set up. So, yeah. But, back to you, I hear what you're saying, and I'm sorry that I was not listening to you, but you just need to know what to say to people, right? You want to be able to grab people and catch their interest and their attention about a great product that we want to share with everyone. So if you can create your own 30-second commercial or your own story or whatever you have that's quick and short and it catches their attention, and then go over it, like who enrolled you? Who's your upline? There you go. Girls, work on that. So, go over your 30-second commercials and call each other. Hey, what do you think about this? Or, and practice it. And then go out there and just do it. Share it with as many people as you can. And it can be as short and simple. And I'm a VeMMA brand partner, and I share a great product.
Well, has anybody listened to the Jim Rohn Network Marketing CD?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I listen to that over and over and over again. And it's a great CD. It just gets your head in the right place. So I would recommend that, and just listen to that thing on a weekly basis.
Any more questions?
So, I listen to VeMMA and Tyler just because of the simplicity of it, and my personal experience is keep it simple, stupid, and it definitely I've tested it and it works better for me. I'm going in that direction.
Thank you to VeMMA and Tyler. What was that question you asked? Anybody here wanna? What you asked first thing? Anybody here?
Does anybody want to make some money?
Yeah!
You can do it. Just have to remember, it is a numbers game. 10 people on the product. One of them will be a builder. Okay? Maybe 2 if you're good, Jim Rohn says. And if you're really bad in a good game, 3.
So I